Hello my fellow anglers and welcome back to the channel. Your favorite fishing expert is here to share the hottest tips and the most accurate forecast for Monday, the 2nd of February, 2026. Today, we're diving deep into what awaits us across the vast waters of Australia, and let me tell you, this day is shaping up to be a truly special one for those who know where to look and what to throw. Don't go anywhere, because I'll reveal some game-changing strategies that will turn a challenging summer day into a memorable angling adventure. Let's talk about the main targets for this exciting day. We've got a fantastic mix of species that will be actively feeding, from the cunning Mangrove Jack to the ever-popular Flathead and the prized King George whiting, and even a special tip for our freshwater friends chasing trout. First up, the Mangrove Jack. Friends, February is prime time for these aggressive predators in Australia's northern and eastern estuaries. With water temperatures averaging a comfortable 24 to 28 degrees Celsius, these jacks are feeling feisty. You'll want to target them around submerged structures like snags, rock bars and mangrove roots, especially on the outgoing tide. This is when they ambush baitfish being flushed out of their hiding spots. For tackle, a medium-heavy spinning or bait-casting outfit spooled with 20 to 30-pound braid is ideal. Lures are your best friend here. Think prawn imitations, shallow diving hard-body lures, or even live bait like fresh prawns or small mullet if allowed. Cast tight to structure, work your lure with erratic twitches, and be ready for a brutal strike. Next, let's talk about the incredibly versatile dusky Flathead and King George whiting. For Flathead, these bottom-dwelling ambush predators will be active in the estuaries and coastal areas, particularly on the run-in tides. The cooler, clearer saltwater pushing in from the ocean, especially over sandy flats and into deeper drains, creates excellent feeding opportunities. Focus on areas where sand meets weed beds or around drop-offs. A light to medium spin outfit with a 15 to 20-pound leader is perfect. Soft plastics, especially grub tails or paddle tails in natural colors, hopped along the bottom are deadly. Live or fresh strip bait also works wonders. For King George whiting, particularly around Melbourne and southern waters where the water temperature is a bit cooler, around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, look for them on sandy weed beds and around broken ground in shallower bays. The key is fresh bait. Try peepees, cockles, or small strips of squid on a paternoster rig. Fish the rising tide for the best results, keeping your bait moving slightly to attract attention. And for those of you who prefer the cooler, crisp air of the high country, trout fishing can still be surprisingly good. While generally a tougher month for trout fishing on the mainland, focus on the high-altitude streams of places like the Snowy Mountains. These waters remain cooler, providing a comfortable environment for brown and rainbow trout. Look for bubbly rapids and shaded pools. Dry fly fishing can be excellent, especially if you can time your trip with warm summer breezes that blow grasshoppers onto the water. Larger terrestrial patterns are the way to go here, mimicking those juicy insects. Otherwise, small spinners or a carefully presented nymph can entice a bite in deeper runs. Now let's break down the conditions for February the 2nd, 2026. Weather-wise, we're looking at typical Australian summer conditions. Expect air temperatures to range from a comfortable 20 degrees Celsius in the south to a warm 30 degrees Celsius or more in northern and eastern coastal regions. Atmospheric pressure should be relatively stable across much of the continent, though always keep an eye out for localized summer storm cells, which can bring sudden drops in pressure and localized rainfall. Wind will likely be light to moderate, often with refreshing sea breezes developing in coastal areas throughout the day. Precipitation is possible, especially in parts of eastern Australia, which sees higher rainfall averages in February. These Short, sharp showers can sometimes invigorate the bite, clearing the air and washing nutrients into the water. Water temperatures across Australia will largely remain high, a classic summer trend. In northern and eastern coastal waters, expect temperatures to hover around 24 to 28 degrees Celsius. For Sydney, the average sea temperature is a pleasant 24.9 degrees Celsius. Down south, in areas like Melbourne, the bay waters will be a bit cooler, typically around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius, which is still quite warm for this time of year. High water temperatures often mean fish are more active in the early mornings, late afternoons, or during tidal movements that bring in cooler, clearer water. As for the moon phase on February the 2nd, 2026, we'll be under a waning gibbous moon. This means we're just past the full moon, with the lunar disk still highly illuminated, around 99.6%. Many old-school anglers believe that fishing during a waning moon can be a bit slower than a new moon, especially when it's still so bright. However, it's also a time when strong tidal movements can occur, which, as we discussed, can really turn on the bite for species like whiting and flathead, pushing them into feeding zones. So don't let the moon phase deter you. Simply adjust your tactics to focus on those strong tidal flows. Overall, the biological activity of fish across Australia will be typical of summer. Many species will be highly active, especially the warm water dwellers. However, the heat can make them a bit more sluggish during the hottest parts of the day. This is when focusing on dawn, dusk, and those strong tidal changes becomes crucial. Species like Mangrove Jack and Flathead will be actively feeding, while King George whiting will be seeking out their preferred sandy habitats. For trout, the high country offers a fantastic escape from the heat, where they remain robust. My friends, for February the 2nd, 2026, I'm giving the bite a rating of challenging but rewarding. The high summer temperatures and post-full moon can make it tricky, but with the strong tidal movements and the active nature of species like Mangrove Jack, Flathead, and King George whiting, coupled with the great conditions for high country trout, those who are prepared and adapt their approach will find excellent opportunities. Focus on the early morning and late afternoon, target those tidal movements, and you'll be well on your way to a successful day. So there you have it, folks, my detailed forecast for February the 2nd, 2026. I wish you all tight lines and a fantastic time out on the water. May your reels scream and your coolers fill. Until next time, remember, always respect the water, and may you catch the fish of a lifetime. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up if you found it helpful, and leave a comment below. What are your plans for fishing this week? What's your go-to summer bait? Share your secrets, my friends. And as always, ni hvosta, ni cheshwe. No tail, no scales.